Hi, my love. It's Joy, Related Girl from Around the Way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to you all with some commentary about the interview that Carlos King did with Royce Reed of Basketball Wives Miami. Royce Reed is an original Basketball Wives cast member, and we owe her things. Now, before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because I'm on a mission to get to 10K by the end of the day. In order to do that, I need you to subscribe, baby. Okay. Y'all, thank you so much for handling that scandal. Now, let's just hop right into it. First, I want to say, Carlos, this is the things that we need. We didn't need you sitting down with two-toned black girl Erica Mena giving us this disingenuine interview. Royce was sitting perched and pooched, looking like she did the first time she was introduced to us on the premiere episode of Basketball Wives LA. I keep saying LA, but she's from Miami. Carlos is infamous for saying that he wants to give us the personality, meet the person behind the personality. And I really feel like Royce's reintroduction to us was amazing. This girl really went through a lot, and we can tell just by how genuine she was, her body language, her eyes, her emotion. I mean, like, her emotion in this interview was palpable. So, without further ado, let's just hop right into this commentary. So, Royce came into our screens again during the first season of Basketball Wives Miami, y'all. This was at the height of reality TV. Okay, this is when we first were introduced to Evelyn Lozada and Shaunie in a real way. You know, we had players like Jennifer Williams and her husband, child. Oof, I would have if Jennifer was on the screen with her husband away that she was a couple years ago. Today, y'all, we would have a field day because her husband was a mess, girl. When I tell you a mess. Anyway, fast forward to today. Royce has always been ostracized by her child's father, who is Dwight Howard, girl, and she really is going to be able to dispel some of the things and also to clarify her name. So most of this interview happened just talking about her experience on I keep saying Real Housewives, but Love and Hip Hop Miami. If you watch the show, then you know that Royce was considered to be an underdog. And by underdog, I mean she was not Botoxed up. She was a regular girl. She was an athlete. She talks about her being a dancer and her career as a dancer. Even, post reality TV, she was a owner of a dance school. So, in a lot of ways, Royce represented the average day, like, regular girl. Although she wasn't. She was a professional dancer for, what she said, not Miami Heat, but the Magic team, whatever, whatever. I mean, like, I'm not a sports girl, clearly, but she was Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, something like that. And she was lined up against Shaunie O'Neal, who was, infamously married and divorced at that time to Shaquille O'Neal, which money, money, money. Evelyn Lozado, everybody's favorite bed wench. Not like that because, I mean, for what it's worth, Evelyn Lozado was that girl back in the day because we knew no better. We, you know, really excused her bad behavior for, she's just being real. She's just from around the way. She's a spicy Latina. She gets what she wants. She's beautiful. Then we had Jennifer Williams, who was just a lapdog girl. We had Susie, she looked like a character out of, I don't even know where. But those are the cast members that I remember. And then we had Royce, who was the baby mama of Dwight Howard, and their relationship was already estranged and things had already happened. And she kind of had this disadvantage in this group of giants. And I mean, both physically and literally. So Royce goes on to describe her time at the franchise of Basketball Wives Miami, and she just really is emotional about Shaunie O'Neal. And although I want to talk about Evelyn and the part that she played in, because Evelyn and Royce's beef was vital to the survival of that show. We wanted to see how Evelyn was going to respond to Royce, and we wanted to see how Royce would handle Evelyn. Evelyn was Botox, she was implanted, she was all of these things that Royce was not. Again, Royce represented the average woman, and she still does. If you look at her today, she's still very natural looking, down to the braids. She doesn't look Botox. She doesn't have the lip fillers. She looks like the regular girl that these basketball players or these so-called star athletes would not go after. And I feel like that's why a lot of those girls were pressed. Okay, they were panini pressed by this little cute petite girl who was still in their circles. So anyway, she explicitly talks about how Shaunie was a bully, and she talks about remember seeing Brandy in that infamous moment of "Thank you for your services" with Miss Shaunie O'Neal, and she talks about how she remember wanting to reach out to Brandy and knowing that feeling because she was coming into the situation being a genuine person, and this is a prime example of nice girls finish last. And I hate to say that, but it's really true. I can relate to Reese in a lot of different ways because I've been in situations where I'm leading with my heart, hoping that people can see and feel and handle me like that. But the truth of the matter is, some people will not. And we have to understand and have discernment when to protect ourselves and when to kind of lead with love, so to speak, because love does not always win. Child, I know we like to put that down on an Instagram post being shady, nasty, and funny, but love does not always win when you're being attacked in a room full of vultures. Okay, show you how to move in a room full of vultures. Shout out to Jay-Z. Now, girl, Royce reveals that during her time at Basketball Wives that she was giving Shaunie Neal information. They would sit down and have dinner, but then somehow or another Evelyn would come back with the information, and it was clear that she was going to be made out to be the butt of the joke. Now, we all remember Royce's infamous pool party girl when she was shaking and gyrating and this, that, and the third. She explains that she was very embarrassed at that moment. And what she said was during the scene in actual real life, she thought she ate down, which, you know, looking back, I can see how nobody really said anything. She was at Ludacris's pool party, and the girls were, oh my gosh, you know. And she said she had this scene with Evelyn, and she was so floored. And she said she remember going to tears because she was embarrassed. Like, we don't want to be seen with the girls like you, and this, that, and the third. Like, really kind of like demeaning her. But let's keep in mind, Royce was a professional dancer. That's like y'all come into my job and I'm a seamstress and I create a creation with my sewing machine. Like, girl, this is my arena. This is what I do. And they used that moment to make her look a fool, do the editing, and she didn't really talk about Mona. She can't talk about Mona, girl. I keep thinking Love and Hip Hop, but she said she was so embarrassed that she just hid away, and she was, this wasn't a time when Instagram and everything around, it was just Twitter, and even that was a lot for her. I think that those girls could not handle Royce because she was a natural person, natural heart, genuine spirit, and they couldn't deal. So while she's upfront about her shaking and gyrating in a pool party, they were in a locker room shaking and gyrating. Most of those girls were dealing with a lot of married men. Evelyn Lozada, one for sure. Ain't no telling who the other girls were dealing with, but this is how they kind of came to be. And I really feel like the situation with Royce is how, one, desirability politics plays a part. Royce is a very natural looking, small, petite woman, still is. Shout out to that denim catsuit one time, because I'm like, ooh, child, one thing Royce gonna do is be her. But she is a prime example of how the industry does not want real. As much as we talk about, oh, we want content, we're tired of Zeus Network putting out, making black, we do not want that as the consumer. And so I open up the conversation to say, like, we need to check ourselves in what we consume and what we deem as desirable, what we deem as okay, what is our politics when it comes to women, when it comes to how we present or put one down, and I'm an elitist and I'm and all of these things, and then we create further and further wedges. Shaunie, Evelyn, maybe Jennifer on a good day were the it girls, and unfortunately Royce, who was a good looking woman, average body, and when I mean average, not worked on, natural body, she was considered a bum. She was considered ugly. And I just talked about this, about how the girls who get work nowadays is the BBL. Back in the day, you had to have, remember those basketball wives earrings? Evelyn Lozada did eat down with those earrings because everybody and their mama, including myself and my mom, she had a pair of them basketball wives hoop earrings with the balls on them, heavy as hell, dragging our earlobes down to the ground, girl. I know what I'm talking about. Drop down in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Was you one of them girls? But seriously, Royce deserved better. And I think that if that would have taken place in today's social climate, we would not have stand. And those girls, Evelyn and Shaunie, for one, would be called out as the bullies that they truly are now. Shaunie has gone on to marry a pastor, which does not surprise me one bit, because we all know that the first lady of the churches typically were bullies, and they were mean girls, and still are, just under the cloak and player cloth of the Lord. Come on now, be for real. She's giving me very much Giselle Bryant. It's no surprise, no shock to me, and this is what Roy said in her interview. Like, girl, I mean, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, and it really makes me no difference because she can still be just as nasty. Because sometimes things, it's not about seasons in life. Sometimes people show their character, right? And if you have a mean and bad up character, a season in your life is not going to change that, baby. Sometimes a snake is just a snake, and sometimes a wolf is just a wolf. Anyway, I am so interested to see when we get into the Dwight Howard situation, because that's another thing. She was really ostracized for going up against this star athlete. If he was that, I don't know if I don't follow sports at all, y'all, but she was further ostracized by the father of her child, and the girls used that against her, and she kind of like crawled away into her corner in the world. She says she's a dance coach at BCU, which I think is Bethune-Cookman University, child, I hope. But yeah, I'm very interested in seeing what part 2 brings. I think Carlos, this is how we want to see you use your platform, Carlos. Don't bring up another Erica Mena now. This is a redemption interview for you, and I'm glad that he is reaching back. That's important. We need to reach back and kind of right the wrongs of this. I want to see Royce win. You know, she represents the average, regular, degular girls, and those stories need to be told. Your story is valuable, sis, wherever you are under the sound of my voice. Okay? Let me know what y'all think. Drop down in the comments. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.